Hello, hi. We're starting a little bit early, just for fun, just for the kicks of it. Hello, hi. Hope you're having an excellent day, everybody. Welcome to yet another iteration, another edition of the Dollar Stream. I didn't know I was gifted a sub. Thank you to whoever did. It was probably Dosky. Dosky was giving out subs left and right, quite a few of them, in fact. So yeah, hi, welcome. Hope you guys are all having a lovely, beautiful day today. We're going to be doing, of course, yet another cooking stream, which I'm quite excited about. Today, what do we got going on today? Today was a day of me needing to clean out the fridge. Hi, hello, that's me, isn't it? Yeah, I needed to clean out the fridge today. I had a bunch of stuff that I kind of needed to get rid of, and my fridge was totally empty. I had carrots I needed to get rid of. I had some cauliflower I needed to get rid of. I have some heavy cream I need to get rid of. I have some potatoes to get rid of. I'm going to be making a cauliflower potato soup. It's going to be nicely blended up. I'm going to make a chicken stock because I had some chicken bones in my freezer that I wanted to use up as well. We're going to do some roasted carrots as well. It's going to be nice. It's going to be very nicely spiced. It's going to be some good stuff. Happy Rosh Hashanah. Happy Rosh Hashanah indeed. To all of you that celebrate. But yeah, that's kind of what's on the Dollar agenda for today. Hello, hi, it's lovely to see you, Naga. Hope you're having an excellent one today. Love watching other trans streamers. Hope you're well. Thanks. I'm excellent, in fact. We're gonna do a little bit of cooking, yeah? Yes. So, order of operations. How is stuff supposed to go today? The Dollar agenda, that's right. We're going to start off by doing the chicken stock because that kind of has to happen in advance. Then we'll kind of prep the rest of the vegetables, and hopefully this time I'll have enough to do. Now that I'm thinking about it, I may again be left with very little actually busy work to do, but we'll see. We'll see. Sounds good as fuck. That's the plan. That's the hope that it actually ends up coming out that way. So the thing that we do need to get out of the way first and foremost is going to be the stock. And so I have some, scrap vegetables for it. You stream at 3 a.m. for me and I always get hungry watching Lamau. Well, time to suffer even more, buddy. I have this one hair that is stuck to me. Get off of me. Okay, beautiful. We got to prep some veggies, don't we? We sure do. Yeah, I guess we can just kind of cut right to it. What do you think? Is it time? Is it gamely time? It's not even 3 o'clock yet. Can't even really do that unless it's 3 o'clock. But perhaps we shall. Fine, let's do it. Let's do it. I got some celery, I got some carrots, I got some onions, very basic aromatics, as well as some cilantro. That's all gonna go into the stock. And we're gonna set the pressure cooker on. So that's just basically in and out in 40 minutes or so. So let's get my overhead. Yeah, there it is, baby. Good stuff. Okay, beautiful. Got my nice little Mizuno UX10. Oh, shit. Actually, there's some stuff I wanted to show you first. I wanted to, maybe I'll show it after I set the pressure cooker. I got some new stuff. I got some new cooking equipment, which I'm really excited to use off at some point. I don't think it'll be used for this stream, but maybe a couple of others in the future. I had somebody really help out. I got some awesome equipment, and I'll show it off in a little bit. Okay, let's do this first though. Okay, so we got to talk about celery prep. There actually isn't any to do other than I'm just going to cut this in half so it neatly fits in the pressure cooker. And that is it. That is everything that I need to do to this celery. It's just gonna get boiled. We want nice big pieces so that we can take it out. One of the biggest mistakes that you can do is mince up your stock aromatics because then it's just gonna break down too much and it's gonna get way too cloudy. Still didn't get that knife you tweeted though? No, I did not. That is a $300 knife. I do not have the ability to do that. It's also unnecessary. You're not busy? Well, hello, it's lovely to see you. So, this is all the prep that we really need to do for the celery. Just kind of chop it in half. Then, I'm gonna do half an onion, okay? Some of the onion is going to go, do I ever pull off the stringy bits of celery? Yes, if I'm eating it raw or I'm cooking celery, right? What I usually do, you just do this, right? You can make a little incision or you can just snap off a piece from the top and then it takes out all the fibrous bits. You ever bite into a stick of celery and then there's the fibers that get kind of caught in your teeth? Well, you can get rid of it, which is a really cool thing. But we gotta talk about this onion, don't we? So The onion, we're actually going to be keeping the skin because the skin adds like a little bit of extra color, a little bit of extra aroma to the broth. Just not the top part because it's so dry that it's just going to flake off, right? So I should get a nice little waste bowl out for this exact purpose. We're going to slice this bad boy in half, just like this. This onion half we're going to actually set aside. We have no use for it at the moment. We're going to cut off the butt, the root end, because we have no use for that. And all that we're going to do, we're just going to cut this in half, and this is now perfect for the stock. Only half an onion is needed. Then let's grab the carrots. So, in regards to the carrots, what I'm going to do is, I've already washed and scrubbed all of these. I'm going to take the butts and the ends of the carrot, and those are going to be used for the stock as well. You can leave them on for roasted carrots, but they're really just not that edible. And I would much rather actually have a nice functional use for something like this, right? So just like that, we're gonna cut off the ends. We're gonna trim these bad boys up. And also, you don't really have to peel carrots if you like scrub them pretty well, right? So don't have to worry about that too much. And it's gonna be ultimately less pretty in the end, but it is more efficient in my mind to do it this way. You are actually getting some use out of it. No. I am not biting into another onion. That is just not happening. That is not... Oh, shit. Guys, I don't want to bite into another raw onion. That was very unpleasant. That was not a good time. All right, can we not roll around, please? My favorite knives are IKEA ones. They're surprisingly good for the buck. Yeah, because it's all the same stainless steel is the thing. I forgot like the actual grade of it, but I looked into a thing. I watched like a couple of videos about like knife grades and metal grades. The IKEA steel knives, I mean, it's all the same. Any like low to mid price stainless steel knife, they all effectively use the same steel. It's pretty soft, which means it does get dull easily. Hello, Cammy. It's lovely to see you. So yeah, once again, just cutting off all of the carrot tops, all the carrot bottoms as well. If somebody makes a tops and bottoms joke, I'm going to fucking kill you, actually. Sorry, is that a threat? Is that allowed on Twitch? I feel like I've asked that question a lot of times on Twitch. Okay. Carrot tops, carrot bottoms, the ends, okay? How about that instead? Let's see. Do I have any more little bits of carrot that I need to get rid of? TOS. No, please, no. Okay. Sweet. Look how cute these carrots are. Maybe we can do some more roasted carrots, actually. I have a couple of extra in my fridge. Nah, it's fine. That's fine. Okay, great. Aromatics, almost done. Last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take a couple of garlic cloves and we'll smash those up. Okay, like 2 is fine. Because there's gonna be some sauteed garlic in the soup itself. You don't really have to worry about peeling it. I'm just making sure that I'm getting rid of all the papery skin. I just enjoy watching a good stream. Well, I hope I can provide. You know what? I don't like using this with the knife. I do like doing it with a bench scraper because it's just like a nice flat surface and I don't have to worry about like cutting myself on it. Right? Nice smash, just like that. And I believe this is all of the aromatics that we need. The only thing that I really need to do now is actually just go and put it into the pot. Let's adjust my camera for a sec. Boop. Hi, hello. Oh my God. Dollar smash, that's right. I wonder how comically loud it is on Twitch. I have no idea like what the actual volume of it is like. Okay, let's get my pot out. Ugh. Sweet, and let's show it, I suppose. Nope, wrong camera. I guess this one should be fine. It is pretty loud. That's fine, I'm totally okay with that. Okay, into the pot. All of the aromatics will go. This is the carrot tops. This is the onions. This is the celery. I have a nice big frozen chicken carcass sitting in a plastic container that I will now hopefully be able to just toss out. If it please come out in one piece. Guess what it's not doing? coming out in one piece. Oh boy. Let's now take any tool and try to pry this thing out piece by piece. It's actually quite difficult to do this with this camera angle. Whoa! Guys, this frozen chicken is all fucking stuck. Aha, I got it. I should have individually frozen it on a sheet tray and then put it into a thing, but I didn't do it, and now it's all stuck. And now it's over. It is so over. Come on. Ugh. Guys, I don't think it's gonna work out. Am I gonna have to use my hands, my paws? Gonna have to get my dog paws in the raw chicken? Fine, I suppose. In the cold raw chicken, in fact. There's actually, yeah, I can run it under the tap, but you know what I'm not gonna do? That, because that takes, oh. Ugh. Okay, I got one of the wings out. And now the question is, can we get the actual carcass out now? I did, successfully, actually. Beautiful. Mmm, delicious, huh? Nice chunk of raw frozen chicken. My favorite. Nom, nom, nom. All right, let me wash my hands properly. I'm annoyed, but that's fine. It wouldn't be a dollar stream unless like 2 things like went wrong every single time. But I did it to myself. I'm the one that froze the chicken in the alignment that I did. Our neurodivergent queen. What are you saying about me? What are you implying here? Are you calling me? Gasp. Okay. Gotta make sure my hair looks good. Okay. Next. Let us actually throw in a couple of bay leaves as well, just for fun. You know. Hello, Lego Batman fan. Hope you're having a lovely day. All right, some bay leaves is gonna go in. Let's get a couple of peppercorns as well. Keeping it classic. We're not doing anything crazy. The only thing we're gonna add to this at the... Holy shit, who closed that? Oh my God. Some black peppercorns. Boop. Oh, that's going in. And then I have some old cilantro that I want to get rid of. So why not just make a stock with it? That's kind of my thought process. Okay. Fuck it, like a nice big bunch here, huh? All that's just gonna go right inside, and then I'm gonna fill this with water. Being vegan almost killed me. I'm happy to see people enjoy food. I can't do that. I'm actually not allowed. I am 20 years old. I can't do that in the United States. Okay. I shouldn't do that actually. Let's fill it up. Ba. Okay, I'm not gonna totally submerge chicken. When it like cooks, it's obviously going to like unfreeze over time. Just gonna get a fairly small-ish pot of stock. Yeah, that should be plenty. Okay, fill this up with water. Professional cook doesn't tie hair up. Okay, well, you know what? That's because fashion, baby. It's because I look better with my hair down. I can tie my hair up. Theoretically, I can. But I'm not gonna. And I think that's fine. That's okay. Okay. And yes, by the way, this is essentially vegetarian, with the exception of the chicken stock, of course. There is no meat present in any of this. This is just, hey, I had chicken bones. I'm going to make a chicken stock. That was my entire thought process. And then I was like, ooh, I'll have chicken stock. I can make that into the cauliflower soup, can't I? So, into the pressure cooker it goes. How do I set this up again? Okay. And where's my pressure setting? Ah. About 40 minutes should be fine. 40 minutes high pressure. And now that's gonna go. It's gonna be a little bit. Okay, great. We have now got one of the components totally done with. Hello, hello, hello. How we doing, guys? How we doing? Hanging out, hopefully? Chilling and hanging out, dare I say? No, we couldn't do that. Not at all. Okay. So, next up, what has to happen? For the roasted carrots, what we need to do is we need to blanch them, basically. Hi, that's me. What's up? What's going on? We need to take the carrots, we need to put them in water, bring it up to a boil, cook it for about like 5 minutes, and then it's gonna go in like a 375 oven for like 40 minutes. Nice low and slow roast like that, and hopefully we'll get like a really like crispy, caramelized outside kind of deal. That is the hope of this, isn't it? I guess we can just start with the blanching of the carrots, can't wait. And then for the soup, I also need to have some onions and garlic sauteed in advance. And we need to chop up the potatoes. There isn't that much to do, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. We'll get over it. I need to start figuring out dishes that I can that have like more active prep work. I'm tired of like showing off shit that's like way too easy to do. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, overhead over front, lovely. Okay. So, the carrots, we need to kind of, we want some nice, comfortable slices here, right? We don't want them too thin. We want them to be substantial enough that the inside stays kind of moist as it roasts. But we also don't want it too thick so that it's totally raw on the inside. So honestly, I might not do anything crazier than this as a cut. And if they're like super tiny and thin, then we might not even do that. But really, we're just trying to keep the width the same. So we'll just go down the extent of all of these carrots like this. In fact, I'm just gonna dump them straight in the pot because again, we start these in cold water and bring it up to a boil because we don't want the outside to be overcooked before the inside is done. That's how you kind of ensure as like even cooking as possible, right? So all that's just gonna go right in. Boop. Lovely. Just moving some stuff around. Okay. I also, unfortunately, did not do the dishes in time before the stream. Oh, actually, for something like this, I should cut this top off, leave this intact so that's not sliced in half, and then only slice this part in half. Yeah. We should do that so that we don't get anything that's like super undercooked or anything. We don't want parts to turn into pure mush. And then the ones that have like a semi-even width, something like this, we can just go as normal. Boop, just like that. Ah, the carrots might be done before everything else is, but that's okay. We'll keep that whole, just for fun. We'll keep, nah, this one will also slice in half. The carrots might be a little bit unevenly cooked, honestly, but that is okay. They are just very uneven carrots. Why do I prefer idiots to they, them? I have a beautiful answer for you. So, essentially, back in, I don't know, like the start of my transition, right? When I used to go by she, her pronouns, despite the fact that I would actively prefer she, her for myself and for people to refer to me as such, people would oftentimes clock me as trans or something, and they would immediately default to they, them, despite the fact they wouldn't do that for cis women or, you know. And as a result, they then became a way for people to work around my identity as opposed to a way of respecting me. And so when I was like, oh, I'm non-binary, I want a non-binary pronoun, I don't really rock with she, her like that. I also wanted idiots. I wanted idiots because to me it was a very nice alternative to they, them that didn't have that connotation and that context of people using that as an identity label to go around how I felt. That's why I like idiots. It's kind of me saying, hey, I just like the thing. And it also felt good. People said it to me and it also felt pretty good. My cooking skills were so bad, but then I first moved on my own. I'm glad the uni served good food. Only later I picked up the enjoyment of cooking. Yeah, a lot of people have really nasty connotations and associations with cooking, and I don't know, I just hope to make it seem more fun for people. That'd be quite nice. Okay, so here's what needs to happen. I need to set the oven to 375 degrees. Gotta get my sheet tray out as well. By the way, that is the extent of the vegetable prep. That is all the vegetable prep that we need for the roasted carrots, because, you know, all that's gonna happen is it's gonna get brought up to a boil, cooked for 5 minutes, and then we take it out. And that's basically it. I can just take it back to this now. Whoop. Hi. Good to see you. Okay. 375. My oven needs like 380 to be close to 375 because it's funny like that. We're gonna fill this up with water and also a nice time to add salt as well. Whoa, hello, thank you so much for the sub, Sierra. Hello, it's lovely to see you. Hi. Okay, doesn't matter how much water that you actually add, as long as it just has enough for it to gently cover it. Okay, sweet. Let's put a bunch of salt in as well. It's pretty much neutral. Yeah. Let's see. It's also like interesting. There's also like languages that don't have it as like a pronoun at all, right? French, for instance, or Russian. Russian doesn't have an it. It's just это, this, right? Она, she. But there is no it. It's interesting. Okay. So, to the stove we go, my friends. We're gonna crank that heat up. We're gonna get those carrots cooking with a bunch of salt. And remember, most of that salt is gonna be dissolved into water. The reason that I added so much is because that you need at least some of it to be able to penetrate and fully season the carrot. Now, the other thing that we need to do, we need to toast up some spices. Because for the carrots, I would like some cumin, I would like some coriander, I would like things kind of in that ballpark. I think that would be nice flavors to have. So let's get that going as well. I gotta move the sheet tray away. We are going to use the nice big one because we want as much cooking surface as possible for when we do the carrots. No cardamom, just keep it in simple. Cumin, coriander, black pepper, right? My usual go-to kind of deal. Okay, so on this pan, nice little handful of cumin seeds is gonna go right inside. You can't actually have too much cumin. I'm a firm believer of. We might also do like a little paprika or something just for some color, because that's always fun to do, isn't it? Okay, sweet. Not a lot of coriander. That's the one I don't want to go overboard with. I have 3 cameras. It's quite a few, isn't it? Put a lot of effort in. And let's get some black pepper in. Again, not too many of these. You don't need that much. Really, I want the cumin to be the dominant flavor in all of this. And then we're gonna crush it up with a mortar and pestle. Love using whole spices. Love it. Where's my water cup? Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. You get to see like, this exact angle is like my hand. Wait, can I line it up? Ow, fuck, I burned myself. That hurt, dude. So, you're just looking for it to slightly start smoking. We're not looking to toast it too much. That's it. We love whole spices here, don't we? Ooh, and the dishwasher is done perfect. So as soon as we don't have stuff to do, I'll show off some of my new kitchen equipment. There's Ono, which is similar to it. Ono, and it's used in a defensive thing. Russian sucks. Ono. I don't know if I've heard it be used before. How can you tell toasted spices are done when they get fragrant? Yes. If you're looking for it to get fragrant, you're looking for very slight wisps of smoke. So I already see that it's smoking. Yeah, perfect. Any more, and that would have been like totally burnt. Okay, let's do the other camera now. Boop. Lovely. Hi. Hello. Okay, sweet. We're going to go in with our mortar and pestle. I'm gonna go ahead and dump that in. I'm gonna move my cutting board away, actually. Boop. Just like this. Move my keyboard. Sweet. Guys, look at this. Now you get a nice little action shot of everything that is going on at the moment. Isn't that sick? I think that's pretty sick. I think that's pretty cool. You get everything. You get it all. Okay. So, first step, always, we just go in and we crush it. You don't want to start banging it or else all of those big round seeds are going to go all over the place. Nice, gentle, gentle crush. Just like this. You see, you start rolling it around and the seeds aren't crushed yet, and it starts exploding all over the place. Better than many cooking shows on TV. That's all I want to hear, baby. Okay, ideally, right? Let's say I move out of this apartment and go to a different one. I would like a camera that is like from the stove facing front like that. I would love a sync camera. That would also be kind of nice. Maybe a POV. You know, I would like some crazy shit. I think that'd be nice. I didn't get all those big round seeds, right? So now it's exploding all over the place. But it's fine. Now we can begin the actual process of rotating it. So there's two kinds of mortar and pestles. There's ones where you bang, and then there's ones where you spin. On ones that have very coarse surfaces like this one, we kind of spin it. This one has a very, very coarse inside. If it was a smooth wooden one, for instance, then you would only be like banging or crushing or doing something like that. But for this, nice little spin. Best way that you would clean it is just like how you would clean a wooden spoon. But wait, you're telling me that the wooden one has the crevices too? Also, it's okay. Here's the thing. Okay, no, here's my suggestion. Do not wash the dry ones. Have a dedicated, dry, like spice mortar and pestle that you don't dry. All you do is wipe it off. Right? It's just spices. There's really nothing to wash off here. That's my suggestion. If, on the other hand, if you're pounding something like a pesto, if you're doing something like a mofongo, then you can get like a marble one, like a smooth one. That's what I would suggest. It is indeed I. Hello, Ritual. Nice little grind on that bad boy. So that's what I like to do. I don't actually have a wet one because I don't really make salsas, but ideally I would love to have like a molcajete, right? That'd be so nice. Okay. It has two sides. Sweet. We want this nice and fine. We don't want any huge pieces. That left like fats in it sometimes. You might want to be careful with that. Like which one is my question then? I mean, they all have some oils and some fats in them, right? But it's not like they'll get like, they'll rancidify. They'll go bad as in they'll like lose their taste, but they won't become contaminated is what I'm trying to say, especially if you're gonna cook with it again. But I am curious what you mean here. Okay, beautiful. Nice little fine spice mixture. Oh, I just take a paper towel and I wipe it off. Yeah, that's a very unpleasant sensation for sure. Peanuts and almonds for a second. Well, that's different. Those are peanuts and almonds. Those aren't spices, are they? Those are like proper nuts. In that case, I would have like that dedicated wet one that gets kind of washed out. But I don't know. This one I just keep totally dry. I don't do salsas. I don't do anything crazy in it. I just kind of keep it as is. Okay, some paprika is going to go in. We'll do a nice little spoonful of that. Once again, that's just for the very pleasant color that we'll get by doing so. Because I think it'll be nice. Holy shit, did the pressure cooker not even finish? It didn't even start? Oh, that sucks. It's taken a while. Okay, this just goes in. It's not going to add any taste. It's paprika, right? Unless you get like a sweet smoked one. Otherwise, it's just color. Okay. Sweet. Boop. Mix it all in. I don't think I want anything else in this. Just keeping it really simple for the carrots. And then we'll see how much we need. We'll like coat the outside of it and stuff and it'll be nice. Okay, so order of operations. The carrots, they haven't even begun boiling yet. Once they do, that'll be 5 minutes on them. Then we gotta take them out and we gotta steam dry them. Depression cooker. Yeah. The amount of people in chat that's gonna go, ooh, me. We gotta steam dry them after they get pulled out. And then they're gonna go in a bowl, they're gonna get tossed with the olive oil, they're gonna get tossed with the spices, they're gonna go on a sheet tray, and they're gonna go in the oven for about 45 minutes, and then we'll check on them occasionally. That's kind of the plan that we have at the moment, yeah. I need to get some water. I need to cut, oh, there it is. I just nestled it behind my stuff. What is this? Sorry, just had something I needed to read. Okay, sweet. Hi, hello. Okay. I can't even really begin on the cauliflower soup until the stock is done. That's gonna be the biggest thing that we're really waiting on at the moment. That's okay. I think we'll get over it. It'll be okay. So in the dishwasher, which finally completed, thank goodness. Oh, I'm so glad that it did, because I really needed my spider. I finally, excuse me? Thank you. Why is the spoon getting stuck in the dishwasher? Okay, it's all fine now. Everything is fine. Okay, I got a spider. These are really sweet. What is that copper golden thing next to your burner top? Looks interesting. Oh, what do you mean next to it? Like, you mean over here? This thing? This is for Turkish coffee. Russians love Turkish coffee. So, the spider is gonna be probably the ideal tool for the carrots because, I don't know. Just gonna take it out so nice and easily, and it's gonna strain it as we get it out of there too. It's gonna be quite nice. Did I seal this properly? I sure did. Sweet. Give a nice little stir with them. Awesome. I really didn't make that many carrots. I could have made some more. That's okay though. Never seen one. I gotta Google it now. Well, there you go. Okay. So, here's the deal. Carrot's boiling. That's boiling away. That's doing its job. I gotta prepare the bowl that it's gonna go in. What's really important for me is being able to toss the seasoning and to be able to evenly coat everything with the oil. Just to make sure that it's all fully incorporated. One of the biggest mistakes that people do in the kitchen, whenever they're about to roast something on a sheet tray, they put it onto the sheet tray and then they season it. And that to me is one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, because then you gotta shuffle it around and then move it with your paws and then to be able to get the oil all over it. Nonsense, don't do that. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to dirty another bowl. Big tragedy, I know. You're going to go in with the carrots into the bowl, put oil, put your seasoning on, and then you're gonna toss it. And once you toss it like that, it will be fully incorporated, and then you can just spread it out on the sheet tray and bake it. You don't have to fiddle around with it and make sure it's all evenly put on top. Use physics to your advantage, and sometimes you just have to dirty another bowl. Such is life. It's okay. It'll be okay. It is like one of the biggest and smallest like quality of life adjustments, and you will actually notice how tangibly more like seasoned and even the actual like coating of the oil and salt is on it. It does quite a bit of a difference. We'll see that all shortly. I'm not going in with all of this now because I want to visually see how much of the cumin and paprika we've added so the carrots aren't just drowning in it. I feel like I use too much oil when I do that, but I am afraid of not using enough. It's better to use too much than it is to use not enough in this application. Okay, carrots are boiling. You know what that means? Set a kitchen timer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Just nice, gentle simmer away, and it's gonna be perfect. Yeah, you don't get too much if you do it like Daria said. That's right, do it like Daria said. Beautifully said. Do it like me, and then you'll be fine. Oh yeah, also, by the way, any extra oil drips off to the bottom. You need enough oil to fully cover each vegetable because that is how it will then evenly conduct heat around the vegetable. People are so afraid of the oil that they use so little that it's basically not accomplishing a function. You need to coat that vegetable. My friends, I'm gonna show you how much I use, and you're gonna be like, holy shit, Daramgar, that's a lot of oil. And I'll be like, yeah, and that's okay. That's fine. Okay. Let's move this to the side for now. Let's get the cutting board back in business because we have some more stuff that we need to prep, don't we? Okay, finally the pressure cooker is going, which means 40 minutes from now, we will have a beautiful stock at our disposal. Okay, sweet. Let's get there's nothing really to watch with the boiling carrots. It is quite literally just boiling carrots. Move my seasoning away. Okay. We need to chop up the onion. And I'm trying to think about what kind of pieces that I'm going to do for this. You want nice, small pieces that are easily going to melt in. Because when I add the stock and when I add the cauliflower, it's really only all going to cook for about 30 minutes. But in the grand scheme of things, that's not that much time. We want to make sure that the onion is as fully broken down as possible, right? So let's get a nice little bowl for such a purpose. We're gonna get a little annoying with this. We're gonna get a little fussy. In fact, we're gonna cut this into a quarter onion just to make sure that we can properly do this, right? Fan this out like so. Do I like open mics? I've never been. I'm very specific with the things that I like and enjoy. So, look at this. We fan this out as much as possible, and then we're gonna do a nice little quarter turn, and very gently, all the way through. Super, super fine mince here. Not a fine mince, that's a small dice. But the idea is the same. We don't want this to be in far too tiny of pieces. In far too big of pieces, excuse me. Misspoke. Okay, lovely. Set that aside. Let's go back through all of these bits. Make sure that's all taken care of. Nice. Now, just gonna take that half away. We'll do the rest of it. Yeah, if your knives are dull and they end up kind of crushing it on the way. So there's a lot of things happening here, right? One of them is always don't bite off more than you can chew. Keep your cutting board neat and organized. This is not a massive cutting board at all, and that's why I'm only going little bit by bit, and I'm then sweeping away the bench scraper. If I try to chop too many onions at once, my board is just going to end up being a total, absolute mess. Okay. Oop, the carrots are almost done. Let's make some haste here. I need to sharpen my knife, don't I? Whoa. Okay, that's fine. My knives are getting a little dull at the tip. A little bit. Not so much that I can't cook, but I should get them sharpened. Okay, beautiful. And the carrots are just about done. We really don't want to overcook the carrots at this stage. So I'm actually just going to take care of all of this quite quickly now. Awesome. Sweet, in fact. Let's take a look at what's happening back on the stove. This is done. Kitchen timer we can turn off. And now I need a place to actually put them where they can properly steam dry. I guess I can just do that on another sheet tray, but it's gonna be too wet. I am gonna have to just get a strainer, it seems. I'm gonna need to get a strainer and a bowl. That is gonna be the ideal combination, isn't it? close. Why aren't you closing? Hello? Why is my dishwasher not closing? Guys, now is not the time. Awesome. That was annoying. Okay. Let's grab my spider again. This thing. We're gonna scoop them out. We're gonna throw them into the bowl. Again, they're mostly raw. This just gave us a bit of a head start on cooking them. And now that that's done, that means we can actually saute the aromatics properly once we drain out the water. Okay. Sweet. That was done. Okay. Great. Look at these things, huh? Hot. And all that moisture that's coming off of them, that's going to help it roast a little bit more evenly. We just don't want a wet exterior. That's the most important thing. So we're gonna let this sit just like this for a second. I'm gonna dump that water out in the sink. I just need a towel. Ugh, gotta get a towel from behind me. We'll dump that water out in the sink. And then that's the pot that we'll use to make the soup in. It'll be nice. Okay. Sweet. Grab that. Get him out of here. We have no use for you. Let that dry off as well. Okay. And now we can just go back to the front. Hi. Hello. It's good to see you. A little dehydrated. Oof. Okay. Maybe I'm just a little weird, but actually like when the cooked carrots have a bit of firmness. That's not weird at all. That's actually a fairly standard opinion. And that's why I boiled the carrots for as little time as I did, right? Only 5 minutes. You're very beautiful. Let's fucking go, baby. I had some pogs in chat. But yeah, no, you're totally fine. That's a very normal opinion to have. It's quite standard, actually. Not weird at all. Okay, so let's talk about seasoning the carrots now. I'm gonna move my cutting board away yet again. Give you guys a nice proper shot of this. Okay. Let's take a look. Sweet. Ah, wrong one. Nice. Okay. So they're not really all that wet to the touch. You can tell, right? They're not that shiny. A lot of that excess water is totally gone. And all the stuff that's steaming is just the residual, you know, stuff on the inside, which is fine. They're not wet on the outside though, which is the essential part. So into the bowl they go before they cool down too much, or else it'll take a while for them to actually go in the oven. Into the bowl. First thing that we need to do, we need to properly lubricate them. And the lubrication, of course, being in the form of this olive oil. Are we about to run out? No, we have another bottle, thank God. Okay. Bunch of olive oil, an aggressive amount. This is what the seasoning actually sticks to, okay? So we're gonna mix that around. This is how it goes in the oven, right? Nice and aggressive amount. Okay, next. Bunch of kosher salt is gonna go right in. And again, the carrots will pick up all that they need. All of the residual oil is gonna stay in the bowl, okay? Bunch of salt. A little bit more, because that didn't get the bottoms of it. And then we're going to, that's enough salt, actually. We do need to start tossing this now, or else it's all just going to stick to that one side. Okay, I guess I can just show you. Ugh, it's so awkward to have it that high up as I toss it. Yeah, there we go. Normally I like toss it down there, right? But I want to actually show you guys the tossing process. Okay, that is an evenly oiled and salted carrot now. Okay? And then what we're going to do, we're going to go in with our spices. I'm going to grab a nice little spoon because I don't want to touch the super powdery stuff with my hands. Right? So, definitely do a couple more spoons than that. Nice and evenly seasoned all the way throughout. Nice, warm, tasty, beautifully toasted spices, yeah? Ah! No, it slipped out. Nobody saw that happen. Okay. Get all of that beautiful spices that we worked so hard to toast and grind ourselves all the way around. And imagine doing this on a sheet tray, okay? That'd be ridiculous. Doing this on a sheet tray is just a complete waste of your time. Okay, now, pretty good, I believe. I think that's, we can do a little bit more, honestly, if anything. But again, the nature of using oil on this, it will kind of pick up as much as it wants to by itself without you really having to do anything. Okay. Nice. Perfect, in fact. Nice and warm. We didn't have to use all those spices. I ended up toasting a little bit too much. I just wanted to make sure that there was enough all over the vegetable. And now, we gotta pop this onto a sheet tray, don't we? Nice sheet tray, we want to nicely spread out, right? You want a nice big sheet tray. It's nice to go too big than it is to do too small. In fact, that's going to be just right. This looks like it's an empty sheet tray, but you can now have all of them perfectly face down. And you know what that means? That means an evenly roasted carrot, my friends. Otherwise, it's just going to crowd around each other, and it's just going to steam, and it's going to be a waste of your time. You want to use the full surface area of a sheet tray whenever you're roasting vegetables on it. It's a little bit empty. I could have done a couple more carrots, but honestly, I'd much rather do it on something that's, once again, too big rather than something that's too small. You can never have it too big. It is one of the most important things that home cooks do not do, in my mind, when they bake their vegetables. No parsnips. It is just carrot. It is just a white carrot that happens to have fallen into the mix. It is one of the biggest things that home cooks tend to mess up, though, where they kind of crowd all of the vegetables on like a baking dish, and then they bake it, and it's not really roasting. It's all just kind of glorified steamed vegetables, and then you're like, man, what's even the point? At that point, there is no point to even putting in the oven. You could have just boiled it. You could have boiled it, and you could have gotten the same exact product. There is no magic that'll actually happen in the oven. There is no roasting. There is no roasting flavor that which is being actively developed. It's just a little pet peeve of mine. It's a little culinary pet peeve. Okay, so next up, we gotta chop up some garlic, don't we? And then we gotta chop up some potatoes. We gotta make them about cauliflower size, if not a little bit bigger. Also, thank you so much for the sub. Much appreciated. Hello. Okay. Cauliflower, the cauliflower that I already have, in the cleaning process for it, it already kind of gets cut up. This is the kind of a vegetable that like you go at it with like a paring knife and you get a bunch of little pieces and then it soaks and then you're able to get all the stuff out of it. So there's actually nothing to prep with the cauliflower. This is kind of how I keep it in the fridge. The next step would be to mince up some garlic though. That's kind of all that we have to do aside from peel the potatoes. Okay, let's get it done. Did I lose my wet towel again? I sure did lose my wet towel. That's totally fine. Oh, no, there it is. Sweet. Okay, lovely. Let's get this going again. And the Pokemon Lo-Fi has ceased to exist yet again. Okay. Whew. Garlic time, isn't it? Is being able to afford protein besides chicken. That's not much of a... Is that a pet peeve? There's a lot that can be done with chicken. But also, if you notice, I don't really cook with super luxurious cuts myself. It doesn't really make sense to do that at home unless you're actively celebrating something, you know? Okay, I'll grab a little plate for this. Okay. That get him? Kind of. Oh shit, no. That's where I'm putting the finished garlic, isn't it? Peel them up. Putting potatoes with rosemary under chicken bits. Yeah, that's always really nice, isn't it? Especially if you have like enough height. A lot of people, when they do that, they kind of put the like whole chicken on top of some potatoes that they cut up. And that's fine, but the bottom of the chicken ends up steaming. When you have like a lot of height, if you ever notice in some like really nice French like rotisseries and some really nice French chickens, where like the chickens are kind of like hanging as they roast, there's a huge drip tray under it that they add water to. And they add the water so it doesn't burn. But you can't normally do that at home because if you add water that close to the chicken, it is gonna end up steaming it from below. But in that case, it's so far below it that it stops the drippings from burning and it actually properly catches them, but doesn't affect the cooking of the chicken at all, which is really nice. What I like to do with chicken breast tenderloins or cutlets, I mean, that's a very versatile piece of schmeat, isn't it? I love a good Japanese curry, honestly. That I can't really go wrong with. Yeah, that's usually my go-to. I mean, we made the tinga the other day. So if you have chicken breasts, right? Tinga is quite literally optimal. In my mind, you can also just do seared chicken breasts of all kinds, for sure. Those aren't necessarily the most culinarily appealing for me, though. I get kind of bored of just a plain seared chicken breast, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I say go for like a tinga. Go for a braise. Do some sort of a poach. You can go super French with it. You can do like a poached chicken breast and then do like a white wine cream sauce type deal, you know. I do love that kind of stuff. I really do like a lot of like classic French affair. Okay. Garlic has now been trimmed, which means we can probably slice it, can't we? How am I gonna do this? We don't want necessarily super tiny pieces. This is fine. We're going to end up blending the soup anyways. The entire cauliflower soup is going to end up being a puree, right? So don't have to worry about this too much. We just want it small enough that we get some of the flavor out of the garlic out. Chicken and red wine, because I like that idea. Red wine, I mean, typically in cooking, it's either used A in a sauce or B in a braise. So you can do like a very long, extended braised chicken kind of deal. That would be nice. Also, by the way, red wine and white wine in cooking are kind of identical aside from like the color thing. There's been like a couple of tests conducted of like people not being able to actually distinguish red and white wine, or they gave them like a white wine that was dyed red and they said that it tasted the exact same. There really isn't a lot of culinary implication in cooking wine besides how much sugar it has and how acidic it is. Almost all of the flavor notes are kind of gone by the time that you cook it, especially if it's like super reduced in something like a braise. So honestly, you can just use whatever wine that you have on hand. It's gonna taste like wine. It's gonna taste like cooked wine at the end of the day, which is always a lovely thing, isn't it? Okay, last thing, I can chop up some cilantro. Oh, I can peel the potatoes. That'll be nice. Just thinking. What do we got going on? I need to saute the aromatics. I need to peel the potatoes. I need to chop up some cilantro. Let's get the saute going. Let's get the sauteed onions going. That'll be nice. So, let's go to this scene. We'll put the pot on the heat at the moment. Again, all that we did in there, we just cooked the carrots. We're gonna cook it in olive oil. That'll be nice. And the potatoes kind of have to happen last, right? Because those will just cook with the cauliflower like normal, and we're still waiting on the stock to happen, which is going to be in about 20 minutes or so. And while I have your attention, we can just do the cilantro. That'll be good. That'll be good. The cilantro, I am just going to garnish the carrots with at the end. A lot of it is wilted. This is super old stuff, but I tried to keep it as fresh as long as possible here. So this is what is usable and manageable. Okay, sweet. Yeah, at the end, when the carrots are done roasting, it'll be nice to have some fresh herbs with them, I think. I'm a firm believer of. We'll get rid of course, the big stem as usual. We have no place for it. Okay. I don't drink, I just use it for cooking. Well, there you go. You don't have to get anything too expensive. Okay, once again, we're not chopping. Nice, long slices. I feel like I sound like a broken record because of the amount of times that I've done something with cilantro on this stream. I need to really start making some more involved dishes. This is kind of the realization that I keep coming back to. A lot of the things that I'm making here are really, really simple, or really quick. And we have hours to play with. The stream setup looks so good. Well, I'm glad that you can see it. I'm glad that you like it. Okay. The sauce that you're talking about, is that like a beurre blanc? There's a lot of French sauces that use wine. There's a lot. You can really do anything. And you've just asked me a very complicated question. Sure, you can do like a beurre blanc. That's fine. That'll be nice. Beurre blanc, I believe, is typically done with fish, but also the French are kind of weird sometimes, if not often. So you can just do a beurre blanc with the chicken. That'd be cool. You can reduce a bunch of white wine, add some shallots while it's reducing, finish it with some butter, and then it'll be fine. Pretty sure that's a beurre blanc or something, isn't it? At the end of the day. Okay, sweet. Onions, cilantro, garlic, all done. The pan is heating up nicely. It's on a nice high heat. This would be the time for us to focus on it. There you go. Getting better at cutting. I honestly suck at it. Yes, which is go slow and practice your form. A lot of people, when they say they're really, really bad at knife skills, they say that they're very bad at going fast. You can't go fast until you build up the physical ability and the motions required to go slowly, right? Start slow, and if you struggle with cutting, your knives are probably dull. I promise you, with good technique, with sharp knives, and going slowly, you will not suck at cutting. Go as slow as you need to. That is my advice. Okay. Onions going in. The pan got a little bit too hot for my taste, but that's totally okay. It'll cool down. It's a thin stainless steel pan. It's nothing that crazy. Boop. We're frying up the onions, toning down the heat. And gonna grab a nice little wooden spoon and mix this bad boy around. And also we'll do a little bit of salt as well. We're not gonna salt the rest of the soup because we're going to blend the whole thing, but I do like salting as I cook the onions. Because we're actively sauteing, we're doing a little something funny. But anything that's blended, anything that's pureed, you really don't have to salt it until the absolute last minute, okay? Take a second to clean up my station here. This I can go away with. Okay, sweet. The olive oil I can put away. We will not need any more olive oil for the duration of the cooking today. We do have to soak the potatoes once we're done chopping it. That is the only thing that kind of needs to happen. Because once again, it oxidizes, right? Very basic potato stuff. You don't want to leave it exposed to the air. You want to always have it submerged under water until you're ready to use it. And we want nice, big-ish chunks. It's going to cook for over 30 minutes. The cauliflower needs 30 minutes. So we want to compensate by having bigger pieces of potato. Okay? I don't know if I can make it, but cock oven looks good. Of course you can make it. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is that confidence? I don't know if I can make it. You can make it. Question is, are you willing to do it? Is it a lot of effort? Yes. But go slow. Don't cook when you're hungry. Get all the shopping done a day before. Make sure you have the ingredients and have fun with it. Put on some music. Make sure you're not doing anything that day. Make sure you're not rushing for time. And I promise you, you'll do an amazing job. Oh, you don't have the stuff. Oh, my bad. I just went on this big, like, fucking motivational rant for no reason at all. That was completely useless. That was so funny. I wanted to be, like, inspirational for a second, you know? I was like, yeah, get him, get him, get him. All for naught. That's fine. Okay. Mix this around. Make sure nothing is burning or anything. It is a fairly shitty stainless steel pot that I have. Right? So we gotta not go too crazy with it. Don't cook when you're hungry. Yes. Listen, when you cook and you're hungry and you're like, you're waiting and you're rushing everything and you're not able to slow down and actually have fun with the movements. If I was hungry, when I was chopping this, I'd go brrr and bullshit everything that I just did. All of that effort that I started with would have been ultimately meaningless. Okay? Cook before you're hungry, because then by the time that you're hungry, you will have food that is ready for you to eat. You are not a restaurant. You cannot magically make incredible meals appear, within 5 minutes. You can't just go and order when you're hungry. You have to be the one that is responsible for putting in that effort, and that is why I always try to encourage people to make food at home that is good in a home environment. You don't want to make food that's only good on the day of. You want to make food that reheats well, right? This is a blended soup. It's very nice to reheat, right? Pretty simple. Sometimes you freshen it up with some cream. But I'm not doing steak dinners for myself at home. That makes no sense to do so. It's not the kind of a thing that reheats. It's pretty expensive. It's not sustainable. Make stews, make soups, make rice, make beans, make all of these different things that are nice to hold in your fridge that work around your kitchen. So cook before you are hungry so that when you are hungry, you have something delicious in front of you, and make something that does not have to be eaten in the moment of. That is the way that I cook at home, and that is the way that people should cook at home unless they're trying to actively impress somebody. And these kinds of things are still very impressive on their own, mind you. We're going to get a very, very beautifully smooth blended soup. It's going to be nice. It's going to be good stuff. Taking notes? Well, I'm glad. That's the biggest thing that I want to emphasize. I want to make home cooking accessible. This is why there's a lot of specific dishes that I refuse to make at home. I'll give you a lovely example. Fucking buffalo wings. Buffalo wings. I'm not deep frying at home. That's straight up not happening. Buffalo wings are the thing that you make them and they're good for the first 20 minutes that they're made. And then afterwards, they get really hard as the meat kind of tenses back up again. And you put them in the fridge and then what? You have cold wings swimming in butter. Not very pleasant, is it? I'm going to go out for buffalo wings. It is a pain. It is a headache. And listen, here's the thing. You can do it if you want to. But if the goal is to actively and consistently feed yourself, doing things like buffalo wings, doing things like fried chicken, doing things like a steak, they're not the easiest way to feed yourself consistently, I guess. It's not always worth your effort. I should do that more and keep some rice refrigerated? Yes, or just get a rice cooker and have it constantly warm, right? That's what most like Asian families do. They have a rice cooker. It's on at all times. That's what my friends do. It's great. It's good stuff. Okay, we need to actually, after we give the onions a nice little mix through yet again, make sure nothing is burning on it at all. Let's check on the oven. Yeah, remember we got some carrots roasting in there, yeah? We gotta make sure that nothing is burning at all, that everything is nicely roasting away, nice and slow. Okay, beautiful. Let me see the underside of it. Ah, fuck, that's hot. Doesn't look that nice now, but I promise you, once it's fully golden all around, it'll be beautiful. So, the bottom side, right? It doesn't have the level of color that I would like quite yet, which tells me it just needs some more time. And guess what? We're gonna give it that time. Okay? It's gonna be nice. And then at the end of it, we're going to toss it with some of the fresh cilantro. It'll be perfect. Back in she goes. Nice. Okay. Was that a nice, inspirational conversation? I hope that was. I wanted you guys to feel my energy. Okay. Onions are sizzling away nicely. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I can add to the soup? Not really. That's fine. It was great. Beautiful. I'm going to drop that heat a little bit more. This is kind of the point where they burn the easiest. We can actually go to the other cam now. Shit, that was not the other camera as anticipated, actually. Okay, we need to get a bowl ready in which we will actively be soaking the potatoes. So we're gonna fill this up with water. Yeah, stream over. Get it out of your system. Fill this up with water, and that's where the potatoes are gonna go. Make sure that the onions do not burn. Again, this is where we have the ability to introduce some flavor, right? We're trying to get these nicely caramelized. Not caramelized, that's a strong word. Just nicely cooked. I have the best vibe. Thanks. Try my best. Okay. Potatoes. I did like the least cool thing imaginable after you said that. Wasn't that cringe? People love me because I'm cringe. Okay, let's peel these potatoes up, yeah? It's not gonna be fully caramelized, they're just gonna be nicely sweated down. All right, potatoes, we're getting peeled. Normally, I don't like peeling my potatoes for anything. I love the potato skin, but in this case, the potatoes are there for purely textural reasons. We don't have enough cauliflower to do a straight cauliflower soup, and so I need some of the potato to sub in, and I don't like blending potato skins. So go down, use your thumb as an anchor when we peel this thing, right? But again, I usually advise against this. I usually really like having, potato skins in basically everything I do. So this is admittedly a little painful for me to do here. It's very sad. The downfall of Daramgar. Wow. Okay. We can leave some on, it'll be fine. Like, it's not gonna be the end of the world. And again, we want nice, big pieces. The potato is actually going to cook faster than the cauliflower. The cauliflower needs to cook for 30 minutes. We don't want the potatoes to totally fall apart. So, nice, big chunks, something like this, okay? And that'll be totally fine. Boop. Let's check on the onions one more time before I deal with the other potato. Aha! Good thing that I did. It was in need of a nice little mix. Perfect. We're giving the onions as much of a head start as possible because, once again, 30 minutes of cooking is not all that much in the grand scheme of things. So this is a potato cauliflower cream soup. It's all gonna get nicely blended up. Is there a use for potato skins? Yeah, you can fry them. You can fry them, but guess what? I'm not deep frying at home. Boop. And boop. Get those eyes out. This camera's setup is sick. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. I would like to make it even better in the future. I would like to upgrade this GoPro. I've realized the GoPro kind of sucks as a webcam, and there's some better options out there on the market. Ooh, whoa, that hole goes deep, doesn't it? Come on, buddy. Good boy. Also, a nice benefit of peeling your potatoes is that you get to see where all the eyes are properly. Simple spelling mistake. Make fun of the chat. What? Oh, gotcha. Okay. I was so confused what was happening in chat. I was like, are you guys having an argument? Are the girls fighting? Whatever you are. Okay. I gotta actually really check on this one more time. Yeah, there's some onions that are getting kind of dark, especially the ones that are touching the edges of this pan. This is, for all intents and purposes, a fairly shitty stainless steel pan that I'm using. But guys, guess what? Those days are gonna soon come to an end. I'm going to show off something very nice that I got really soon. I'm just trying to keep myself busy and do that when I don't have anything to do. So, potatoes. Gonna do the last little slice ups that it needs. Perfect. Nice big pieces yet again. It's all gonna break down, it's all gonna cook through. And we're just keeping all that bad boy soaking in the water like a Mormon. Sorry. I'll put away the cutting board, my fault. Okay, and let's get that out of here. Let's wipe down my station. All those little vegetable bits tend to be annoying. Okay, great. Potatoes, soaking. They're doing their job, aren't they? Cutting board, actually, have not a single use for it left. It has outlived its usefulness to me, and now it must die. Okay, the onions are going. The onions are actually ready to take on the garlic, my friends. So let's do that. Let's get a stovetop shot. And boop. Garlic is gonna go on in, and then we'll basically kill the heat as we wait for the broth to be done. Garlic goes in, mix it all around. Try to get a bit of color on that. And that's all going to cook down when we add the stock, when we add the potato, when we add the cauliflower. Okay, very nice. Nice low heat. We don't want to squelch the garlic, do we? But yeah, guys, that's a very shitty stainless steel pot that I have there. It's one of the ones that only have like that thick layer on the bottom, and then the sides are like this really, really thin, crappy metal. I'm gonna show you what I have instead. I'm really excited to show it off. It does not have the best heat conductivity at all. On the bottom, it's fine, but on the sides, it's not the best. But those days, my friends, are all coming to an end, which I'm very excited for. Okay, that's enough. Don't need any more cooking on that. And I'm just going to go ahead and take this off the heat so that it does not continue to cook. Boop. Perfect. Mix it all around. Make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom and burning still. And we gotta check up on the carrots, don't we? Sounds like it's made for electric stovetop. All pots suck, trust me. It's just the sides of it are so thin that any like bits of onion that stick to those sides, they'll end up scorching because of how poorly and inconsistently it heats. I do have to keep mixing this because of the amount of residual heat that it's also holding on to. Make sure none of that garlic burns because that'll be quite unpleasant. Okay, let's check back on the carrots. Yeah, good boy. All right, we'll give them a nice little flip now. Great, sweet. Nice and tender, nice and roasted. My friends, that carrot has a really excellent color on it. I'm very happy about this. That is a beautifully roasted carrot. And it is about to be even better really shortly. When you roast carrots like this, they get so incredibly sweet, not unlike a sweet potato. It is fascinating. It is really fascinating stuff. Okay, all of this is now gonna go on the spinny side up, or on the spinny side down, excuse me. Those little bits, I mean, they're kind of doing whatever they want. They've been spinning around the oven the whole time. Nice. Look at that. My friends, that's what a roasted carrot is supposed to look like. That has proper color, that has proper caramelization, okay? That is what it is supposed to look like. It's not supposed to be a steamed carrot with a little bit of browning. It's supposed to be nicely flavored. It's supposed to get proper color all the way around, and it's gonna go back inside for another 14 minutes or so. If it wasn't 400 degrees, well, guess what? You're actually wrong, pal. It's not 400 degrees. Are you serious right now? It's 380. Can't believe this. Keep it up, man. Keep it up and see what happens. Okay. Pressure cooker, guess what? The stock is done. Oh, swagliachi. That's so good. You know what that means? We won't have a lot of dead time. We'll be able to just kind of get on with the soup. That'll be pretty cool. IMO. A lot of leftovers are getting used up today. My goodness. I do have to prepare, though, the station that we'll be draining out the stock into. And I'm trying to figure out where exactly that is going to be at the moment. That's my Chad face, for those of you guys that couldn't tell. Sorry. Okay. Pressure cooker is about to be done. I really don't want to dirty another dish. I think I should strain it directly into the cooking pot because everything is just going to boil now, right? Once we add the cauliflower, once we add it, I'm going to just strain the stock directly into the pot. Going to keep it simple, huh? It's going to be fun. Okay, guess what? Pressure cooker done. Now we can cancel it. And we're going to do a nice fast release. No need for natural pressure release. That's going. And we'll ladle it in. It'll be perfect. Holy shit, that's a lot of steam. My goodness. I wish I could actually properly show you, but I can't without completely dismantling the setup. Okay. It's gonna go in like that. Carrots are gonna go back in here. Douglas Stream Wildlife Farm Maternity, go today. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. This one was from Spencer's. So maybe not the whole immaculate taste thing. But I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. Shiny Market is lovely to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Big fan. Big fan. Okay. I have no use for my bench scraper anymore. What is going to happen though? What is going to happen? You see this bowl that has all of the oil and like the residual spices? We're not going to waste any of this. We're just going to toss our cilantro directly into this. And we're going to put the carrots back in here. And it's going to be super nice at the end of it all. Yeah, the carrots are going to be a little bit oily, but I don't care. We don't eat enough fat in our diets. All right, my friends? It's fine. It'll be okay. It's a little olive oil. It won't kill you. But maybe it will. And if it did kill me, that's fine. I'm okay with accepting my fate. All right? Sweet. Cauliflower is already all ready to go and stuff. The potatoes have already been chopped. This is where the carrots are going to go once that is done roasting, and we want it nice and warm so that it helps to wilt and soften up the cilantro so it's not just super crunchy pieces. It's going to be really nice. Oil and butter at the same amount of calories. Well, we're getting into complex territory when it comes to saturated fats and health and signs and all of that. But really, the point that I'm really trying to get to, people don't eat enough fats. People don't eat enough oil. People don't eat enough butter. We just kind of overdo it with sugar in our diets. And also, guys, if you might notice, a common trend in all of the food I make, I do not use any sugar in anything that which I cook. I don't eat any sugar myself in my diet. You are, of course, welcome to do what you would like to do. But I don't eat any sugar. It's been a very good change for me. It's been a very nice way to manage myself, I guess. So, and I think sugar and sweet things are just very heavily overused in food, especially when it comes to processed food, right? So it is like a very important culinary tenet of mine, like a very important belief that is something that we have to kind of move away from because it wasn't always like this. What are the health benefits of no sugar? Fantastic question, Cami, that you just asked me. So, what are the health benefits of no sugar? Kind of mitigating any possible obesity risk. Or not obesity risk, excuse me, diabetes. Mix the two up. That's kind of the big thing, really. Diabetes, if I'm not mistaken, when people are pre-diabetic, usually comes from sugar, doesn't it? Carbs are fine. There's a lot of modern demonization of carbs where people are it's always been like this, Atkins diet and low carb diet and keto this and that. Carbs are fine, given enough fiber consumption in your diet. The real issue with refined grains is just the lack of fiber in the modern diet in a lot of ways. And so as long as we're reintroducing fiber, carbs should be totally fine for people to eat. But I'm not telling for people to not eat sugar at all. That is just a personal choice that I make. But eating less sugar, there's a lot of very good research to support that. Not balanced with enough proteins and fats, indeed. Okay, guess what? The pressure cooker is ready. So you know what that means. We get to strain it off now. Boop, just like this. Okay. We're gonna grab this pot. We're gonna go right onto the stove. We're going to open up my pressure cooker. I'm going to take it out. Get all that steam back inside. And then I'm going to lift up the pot and I'm going to just simply strain some in. And this is the beautiful, beautiful stock that we worked so hard to make, my friends. Okay. So, stock. We go in, nice golden color. It doesn't have to be too rich. Normally people make cauliflower soups totally vegan, right? So basically, as much as you want to add, actually, I totally lied. We're gonna first go in with the cauliflower and we're gonna go in with the cauliflower and the potatoes before we go in with the stock, because I wanna make sure that we don't have too much liquid that we'll then have to cook down. With a puree soup, you really wanna make sure it's not too wet, right? So that's what I'm gonna do first. I judge the amount that we're doing, not volumetrically, but simply by eye and by feel. And I need the cauliflower and the potatoes. Excuse me? Are we stuck on the bottom of the Tupperware? Lovely. That's going in. And then the potatoes, I'm just gonna quickly strain this off. Cutie alert. Whoa, ring the alarm bells. Somebody call somebody. Oh my God. Okay. Potatoes going on in as well. And again, the potatoes are there mostly for texture. Normally I wouldn't do cauliflower soups with potatoes, but I did this because I just wanted to make more. I wanted to kind of bulk out the volume and I had 2 old potatoes that I wanted to use up. Okay, so that's going in. And now I get to properly strain in as much broth as we need. Give this a nice little shake, level all of that out. The strainer is now too big to actually fit inside, but that's okay. We're just gonna go in bit by bit. Boop. Nice and clean. And what I like about a pressure cooker, it does a very good job of not overcooking the whole pieces that you have inside, and it extracts things in a nice mannerly time. So there's not like a bunch of little guys floating around in the pot. Okay. All of that is going to be dedicated to the soup. Perfect. That is just enough. We do not want any more. Lovely. And now we'll take this, we'll put this onto the heat. Nice, nice. We'll give this a nice little mix. And once again, don't worry about the salt. We don't want to worry about the salt since we'll just add it at the end. It is a pureed soup, yet again. Pureed soups, you can add them at any point in the process itself. And we don't know how much water we're going to lose. We don't know how much is going to reduce by the end of it. The goal is we're going to take this up to a boil, drop it down to a simmer, and cook it for about 30 minutes. In the meantime, we'll strain off the rest of the stock. I'm going to go ahead and do away with this now, put it somewhere else. And let that cook. Guess what? A lot of the work has been done. The carrots have almost done roasting as well. They only need 5 more minutes. Everything is working out quite well, actually. Is this how gay people cook? Man, you have a girlfriend. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Everybody get her ass. Everybody get their ass right now. Point at them and laugh. I don't want to hear it again. Yeah, that's what I want to see. This is how guys cook. This is how men cook. See these gains? Also, guys, have you seen this kangaroo tattoo? That's right. Get fucked. It's over for you. There's nothing that you can possibly do to come back from this. Okay, I just want to make sure that none of the onions are stuck to the bottom as well. But this will now kind of take care of itself. Only 30 minutes. So, I actually have something that I want to reference. There's not a lot of channels that I take any kind of culinary inspiration from, especially YouTube channels, that is. Not a lot of places, because a lot of information out there kind of sucks. It's not very good. But there's one that I really love. And I forgot what it's called. It's one of the series on America's Test Kitchen. What's Eating Dan, I believe. And this was a very important revelation for me. And he had an entire episode that was exclusively dedicated to cauliflower. And in that episode that was exclusively dedicated to cauliflower, there was a side-by-side comparison of the difference of cauliflower flavor changes from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 20 minutes, 30 minutes to 40 and 50 minutes. And so, the biggest conclusion from that episode, get this guys, within 10 to 20 minutes of cauliflower cooking, we're talking boiled cauliflower, it has that kind of sulfury taste. No, that's Jack Scalfani. Don't worry about him, and I got that shirt as a gift. So 10 to 20 minutes, cauliflower is going to have like that cabbagey, sulfury taste. 30 to 40 minutes, the cauliflower attains what was described, and I can confirm myself, a nutty, sweet taste. 50 to 60 minutes, it becomes kind of a bland mush yet again. There is a very specific sweet spot. That is the end conclusion of that video. That is the takeaway that you want to hit when making cauliflower, which is to cook it for around 30 minutes. And that's why I had to cut my potatoes to a certain size. That's why I had to do all these different things. 30 minutes is that exact sweet spot. I love raw cauliflower. I love overcooked cauliflower. I grew up eating it. My Russian family adored that shit. This is going now, though. It's doing its thing. And we gotta strain out the rest of the stock as well in the meantime. We're gonna take this to a boil, cover it, drop it to a simmer. Just, maybe I cut those potatoes too big. Maybe I could have just cut the cauliflower smaller. But anyhow, point is, cook this for 30 minutes. There is a very specific reason that that is the number that I am referencing with this, okay? It's not for nothing, it's for a good reason. And you can mush it around in there and stuff too. It's all gonna get blended up nicely. It's gonna be good. And, ooh, the carrots are almost gonna come out too. It's gonna be nice. Okay, now, I gotta get my carrot station ready, don't I? This pan has cooled down. I'm gonna get some more water for myself. I'm just organizing my stuff here. Really, really quickly. Getting my stuff together. Okay, that's all been done. I love cooking channels like French Guy Cooking. He's okay. He's okay. So does it infect any potential eaters? Sorry, anytime that you would touch that plate, you'd be immediately infected. You'd be sick. Hi. Oh my God. It's been forever since I've seen you. How you doing? I love how people don't DM me throughout the day, and then they see that I'm streaming, and then they're like, ooh, this is the time we'll DM Daramgar. Okay, great, guess what? Carrots are totally finished. Let's go to the all scene. Sweet. Let's pull out the carrots. There's my towel. That's a nice roasted carrot, my friends. Ooh, I'm sorry. Do you guys hear how crispy that is? Did you hear that sliding around in the... Do you hear that shit? Do you know what that is? That is a perfectly crispy, beautifully done roasted carrot. Are you kidding me? Look at this thing. Look. Okay? That, I don't think this webcam is actually doing it the justice that it needs. I'm slightly burning my hand. That is what a perfectly roasted carrot is supposed to sound like. Okay? Damn it. Sweet. Oomph. We should catch up on Cooking with Jack in the server. You already know. Okay. Grab this. Lovely. Drop this bad boy down to a simmer. Kitchen timer for 10, 20, 30 minutes. And then that's going to be the cauliflower soup. And we'll blend that bad boy up at the end. Ooh, we can add heavy cream now. I don't know who that is. I have no idea who you just told me. Okay. I can cook it. We should cook it with the heavy cream now. That is actually kind of important. I hope it doesn't split. It's important to cook it with the heavy cream now so that the heavy cream has a chance to kind of thicken as well in this process. So a bunch of it is just gonna go on in. Mix it around really, really quickly. Make sure it doesn't curdle or anything. Boop. Okay, sweet. Did it separate? Is that what just happened? Gasp. No, it's fine. I'm being dramatic. It'll be fine. That's just the residual oil on top. And now that's going. Lovely, lovely. Have to head up. I wanted to say hi. Have a good soup. Why, thank you. Okay, the carrots. Let's add these bad boys into the bowl, my friends. Take that. Dump all of that into the cilantro, into the rest of the oil, into the rest of the spices. From whence it came, it returns back to the motherland. Nice, crispy, beautifully roasted carrots. Flavorful, with nice, fresh, warm spices. And now we're just gonna mix around the cilantro, make sure everything is all the way around the carrot here. Look at that. Look at that. I should have made more carrots. And granted, you need to remember that they do reduce a lot as they end up cooking. Because you're getting rid of a lot of that moisture, the structure collapses, right? A boiled carrot holds on to a lot more of its liquid, so it kind of stays intact and voluptuous. Whereas the roasted carrot ends up losing a lot of said moisture, right? It is why baked potatoes shrivel up and look all wrinkly. Will it munch on the carrot at the end? I'm not beating the rabbit allegations. I posted a video of me munching on some cabbage like a rabbit, and everybody called me one. I'm not a rabbit, damn it. But this is not helping my case at all, is it? Okay, it's going. That needs to cook. Okay. I suppose I can. Ooh, fuck, that's hot. Oh, that's good. Mmm. It's really good. Dude. That is lovely. That is a lovely, lovely carrot. I'm quite happy about it. Seasoned. It's got a lot of really good flavor going on, doesn't it? Oh, fuck, hot. Oh. That was really hot. Mm. Mm-hmm. Goddamn. Goddamn. Not necessarily always. Sometimes people suck. But in this case, those are perfectly roasted carrots, my friends. Perfectly. Now, I will say, the actual carrot itself is not all that amazing. I don't know who grew them. We had like a bag of like these kind of misshapen carrots. I think maybe like a family friend gave us some or something. They're not the sweetest, but they're really tasty root vegetable, aren't they? That has the seasoning, that has the flavor, that has the spice. Only thing is it could have used a little bit more salt, which is a conclusion I keep coming back to, don't I? I don't think there's much use for this other camera anymore. Oop, that is cooking a little too aggressively. Give this a nice little mix through. And now it can kind of do its own thing here. It's good to go. Lovely. And we'll go at it all with a stick blender and go brrrr. Okay. Hi. Carrots are done. I guess I can put some dishes away. I can also talk about some of the new stuff that I got. You guys want to see my new cooking equipment? You guys want to see that shit? Mmm. No, that is really good. Mmm. It is crazy. When you roast a carrot like this, they really become like a sweet potato. The carrotiness taste, I don't know why, but for some reason it kind of like disappears and it becomes that much closer to a sweet potato. Okay. Sweet. I'll set these carrots aside. I'm not going to have that many left, honestly, by the end of this all, but that's okay. Okay. Let's talk about one of my bad boys. So, I am the proud owner of my first carbon steel pan. I got a De Boyer, however you say it. Beautiful carbon steel skillet. And yesterday, I went through the painstaking process of, seasoning it myself. All of these layers that you see this color, you see how shiny it is, you see how smooth and sleek it is? All of that, my friends, is polymerized seasoned oil that I did in a lot of layers. This thing is quite nice. I've never owned a carbon steel pan before. It's going to be a bit of a learning curve for me, but I am excited, actually. I'm excited to see what this can kind of do for me. And also now I feel like a real French chef, don't I, huh? Wait, shit. Let's do the regular front camera so you guys can see it up on my shoulder. Is this still boiling too hard? Chill. Hey, relax. Who do you think you are, huh? Chill out, buddy. Thank you. Good boy. Okay. How do I clean a seasoned pan? Good question. You can't clean it with soap and water. If you're just cooking something and you have really good temperature control and it's not saucy, you can kind of wipe it off, right? And it'll be fine. Otherwise, soap and water is fine. Make sure to dry it off with a towel and then you put it back on the heat to get rid of any excess moisture. Moisture and acid is the death of a proper carbon steel pan. But people say, oh, you can't use soap on it. That's one of the most debunked myths of all time. Soap does not work on polymerized burnt oil stuck to the pan, right? If it was raw oil and it was splotchy, of course the soap would work on it. But the seasoned burnt oil is unaffected by soap. So soap away, it's fine. You can do that. Don't put it in dishwasher. Don't leave it wet. Just if it's dirty, leave it dirty like when it cooked, unless it was something acidic, and then clean it off, put it back onto heat, and dry that thing off. It's gonna be a little bit of babying. It's gonna be a little bit of effort. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge. But I'm excited because I've always wanted a proper carbon steel pan, and I hope, I just feel really cool holding a nice heavy object, I can't lie. I wanna get completely off Teflon. Well, you can't. And the answer is why you can't, unless you manage your expectations, is because this will never really be as non-stick as Teflon. Nothing will be as non-stick as Teflon. Specifically, it's not low temperature non-stick. Nothing is actually properly low temperature non-stick like that. You can season enough and get a million gajillion layers on it, but it's never going to just be right off the bat, cold pan, put an egg on it. That won't happen, unfortunately. So you want to get off Teflon, and that's fine. You can. You just have to manage your expectations with it. Unless you're doing a lot of low temperature non-stick cooking, which most people don't actually need, by the way, then you can switch off of it. But if you're trying to, for whatever reason, do like a sunny side up egg on a cold pan, you can't do that with carbon steel. So manage your expectations, be smart about it. That's what I gotta say. And I'm just wrapping it back up in a towel, just like this, so it doesn't get scratched, so that nobody else uses it but me. Okay, now, that's one of the nice items that I am now the proud owner of. Would you guys like to see the other item? Actually, I'm gonna first wash my knife, so it's not just laying there all dirty. Wash this bad boy off nice and quick. That's been done. I should really start doing like salads or something, at least just to give myself something to do if I'm ever stewing something. That'd be nice, I think. That's why my only Teflon pan is for eggs. Yeah, me too. That's what I basically only use mine for, right? I have a little tiny pan, but that's just so happens to be the best possible size for toasting spices for me. Other ones are stainless steel and have a cast iron pan from a thrift store waiting to be cleaned and re-seasoned. God, I would kill to have a proper workshop with which that I can restore other people's like carbon steel and cast iron pans. That would be so sick. I would love to do that. But alas, I live in a New York apartment, and restoring properly, like rusted, super rusted cast iron without like the whole electrolysis, not electrolysis, but like the electro water stuff, it's space and it is equipment that I do not actually have or want to make the investment in. But I would love to one day be able to do stuff like that. Daily cooking stream, yes, chef, I'm an idiot chef. Do not smash my head. Great, happy to see you too. Okay, let me show you my other nice thing that I got. I'm keeping it in my room, so nobody touches it. So, do you guys remember when I was complaining just a few minutes ago about the poor conductivity of that shitty stainless steel pot that I had? About how useless it was, about how it did not do a good job. Well, I am now, finally, the proud owner of maybe one of the nicest pieces of cookware that I have, which is a Mauvier. A Mauviel? I don't know how to say it. I don't speak French. A Mauviel, beautiful stainless steel pot. This thing is filled with copper. It is my first copper-plated, little copper on the inside, stainless steel on the outside, piece of cookware that I've ever owned. And it is lovely. It's got a really good weighting to it. It's got a nice thin handle. Very important. You want flat V-shaped handles that stay cool. You want it not super smooth so that when you have a towel over it, it doesn't wiggle around in your hand. It's got the perfect, shape. Yeah, this is maybe one of the nicest pieces of cookware that I own. I'm very happy about this thing. I can't get copper pans because I have an induction. Well, no, you can. If they're stainless steel on the outside. If it's stainless steel on the outside, then they can go on induction. If they're not fully copper, if it's totally copper, then you can't do it on induction. Isn't that how it works? I'm pretty sure this is induction safe because it's stainless steel on the outside. So, it's this bad boy. I'm very happy to own this thing now. Got it the other day. I wanted to use it for today's cooking stream, but I'm not gonna lie. The thing is happening where now that I own nice things, I am afraid to use the nice things. You ever get like that? I'm like, well, this is so nice. I don't want to spoil it. Granted, for today's cooking, it didn't matter too much past the sauteing of the onions, right? But still. Tried to use copper coffee pot on induction, wondering why it wasn't heating. Well, what you can do, you can get a steel plate, something that is magnetic, and have that go on the induction. There are steel plates that can essentially convert anything to be, induction ready, but it's not that good. But yes, this should be okay. Really? Interesting. I'm gonna put this away. 1 second. I wonder why that's the case. That you can't use it on induction, because theoretically, the stainless steel on the outside should be the magnetic part that ends up, that should be the part that kind of magnetizes to the induction cooktop and be okay. Okay. This is all nicely cooking down. Now we're gonna go without a lid, right? Because we want this to kind of evaporate in liquid a little bit. Because it's a lot of water now that the vegetables have started cooking down properly. And then I can also probably show off the stove camera for that as well. Sweet. Because that's going, nah, I like being big. I realize I don't have a scene that's just me and the stove on the right. Oh, that sucks. I guess for now, I can just kind of get rid of this. Yeah, okay, that was a little bit dirty. I have to prepare another scene in the future. But this kind of does what I need to do in the moment. Sorry that took so long to actually show off that shot. Oh, all I do is keep fiddling with my hair. I do it too much. Woof. We have 15 more minutes of cooking to go, and then it's all gonna get nicely blended up. Now, I'm trying to think about what happened here and why there's like this much pooled oil on the top. I wonder if any of it is actually from the heavy cream or if all of that was just the olive oil that was present in the beginning. I hope it's not the heavy cream splitting. Either way, it'll be fine. Evaporate some of the water very slowly, very, very gently. It'll be good. Induction stoves get too hot. Yes, they sure do. They also get loud. For whatever reason, it's like maybe like the metal vibrating there or something, but it goes like ding. Or at least the shitty ones do that. I've heard that that was a common complaint. And I guess I can also maybe potentially start to unload the dishwasher. That might be good for me to do or something. I don't know. Also, I finally also own a fish spatula. I've always needed one. I got a proper fish spatula. You know what that means? I can, not use just a shitty silicone spatula all the time. I have not had amazing cookware for a very good chunk of my life, and I'm finally being able to, go and get some of the things that I've always wanted, and it feels nice. Even little things like the fish spatula. It'll be really good. It'll be really fun to use. By the way, while I'm on the topic, I want to show off one of my favorite pieces of kitchen equipment that I never get to show off. What is it? Okay. This is, in my mind, one of the most underrated pieces of kitchen equipment. Also, wait. I got a stainless steel wok heated up on high poured in some peanut oil. Ooh. Oh, that's awful. I'm so sorry, but that's really funny. So, this is a cookie scoop. And cookie scoops are really, really nice for portioning things, for putting down dough, but especially think of something like this. Let's say you have a cold stew. Let's say you have a cold mac and cheese. This is something that I picked up in a prep kitchen one day. I used to apprentice in some kitchens when I was younger. Take this, scoop into a Tupperware it goes. It doesn't stick to it because you just do this. It's really nice for anything thick and saucy or even sauteed vegetables if you have like a really, really big one. I really recommend that people get a cookie scoop. It is sometimes the best tool for the job that people just do not realize. It is so optimal. I'm so sorry that this has become a Dara puts away dishes stream, but I really didn't do the dishes beforehand, so I'm not able to load up the dishwasher, and I'm stressed out about it. Because I normally love advocating to people that one of the most important things that you can do is actually clean as you cook. And I can't clean as I cook unless I have an empty dishwasher. So, that's on me. I feel a little silly about that. Okay, how's this going? Yeah, it's all cooking down, isn't it? It's gonna be a beautiful little puree. It's gonna be a really nice, creamy, creamy soup. I think the potatoes are gonna help give it like an extra level of like stability. It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna just keep checking chat. One really good tool I didn't appreciate for is simple chopsticks. Oh, absolutely. I like my dish set. Mine's an amalgamation of old dishes from 4 years ago plus random roommates dishes. That's the way to do it, baby. That's the early 20s dish set, isn't it? This is called the I live with my mom dishes. Super useful in many occasions once you start using them. Yes, absolutely. Especially flipping individual things. Tongs are sometimes really big and clunky. Alternatively, you can also use cooking tweezers. People use cooking tweezers for those kinds of things as well. Except I'm 40. Still got the early 20s vibe. Keep it strong, baby. But yeah, again, my apologies that I'm doing this. I am making the executive decision to do this on stream. I don't care if it's unsightly. I don't care if this isn't the peak cooking content that you wanted. But this is real, baby. This is real. This is what real cooking is all about. Doing dishes, unfortunately. Okay. And then we'll strain out the stock once I'm done with this. I also got a proper microplane, which is nice. I've always wanted a nice little microplane. This is peak content. Great. I'm glad that I can provide. I'm bad at using chopsticks. Have you thought about practicing? You can always do that. Unless you have something that is physically stopping you from doing so, of course. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like so Italian chefs love having their little like the Michelin starred Italian chefs. They love having their little tweezers on hand, but those are kind of, I'm just gonna say it's a little gay. I'm not that. I couldn't be that. Okay. I've only recently been able to get some cooking equipment. I wanted any suggestions of keeping track of them. Already lost the handle through the pasta machine I got. Keep it all in an organized box for itself. For instance, I have a bunch of KitchenAid attachments, a lot of which I don't use. But I have them all tucked away in a very specific box, especially if it's for things that you do not use often or all the time. Have dedicated drawers and sections so it's not lying around. That's the advice that I can give. This is an issue that I've struggled with before in the past as well. Also, finally got a proper wire rack for my sheet tray, which means that I can air dry things in the fridge a little bit better. There's a lot of potential with this. It's nice. I'm excited about it. I should have gotten a smaller one too, damn it. That's fine. How is the potato cooking? How's the cauliflower cooking? It's all looking quite good. Nice, it's getting nice and mushy, nice and falling apart. That's what we want to see, you know why? Because that means it's just gonna blend up that much better once it's ready to go. It has the flavor of the onions, the garlic. We're keeping it really, really simple. We should also do some black pepper. I wanted like a very clean kind of, you know, very, very simple flavor palette in this because I have some very like spiced carrots, right? And with cauliflower, I typically like having a very clean flavor palette. So just black pepper and then salt at the end. And it's gonna be totally fine for me. And of course, there's some seasoning, there's some aroma from the broth that we added. Where did you get your dead Natsuki shirt? I got it from Spencer's. Okay. What's a complicated dish you can use a brand new saucepan to make? Oh, that's a good question. Saucepans aren't, oh, hi Clementine, hello. Saucepans aren't that complicated of a tool. It's not like they can do like a crazy amount of stuff. Guys, wait, I have a question. Has my camera been dropping frames at all? I've had that issue happen once and I was like really paranoid about it. Complicated dish that I can make? In that thing? Honestly, I have no clue. It's basically for boiling and sauteing and braising. It's very standard, actually. I'm gonna try to order one. That shit is sick. Thank you. I have 2 more hours of work. Good luck. You should keep me on the whole time. Well, I actually don't have that much left in the stream because in 6 minutes time, we will blend up the cauliflower and that'll be the soup and then I'll eat, which I'm excited for because all I had today was a little bit of a rice bowl. That was nice, I suppose. This didn't finish washing. Just kidding. I had something that I didn't want to put away because it's in an annoying spot, so I just put it back in the sink. So it'll just keep going into the dishwasher until I finally have the motivation to put it away where it should be. Whoa, oh my God, thank you so much for the sub. Really appreciate it. Do you have favorite ethnic food you prefer? Mexican food. I'm not Mexican. I adore Mexican food. I love Mexican like food, like theory and philosophy and like techniques as well. I adore Mexican food to death. That has to be the top one for me, easily, without a doubt. It is something that I can eat every single day of my life until the day that I die. Ah, finally. My mind feels so much better now that I'm actually able to properly put away like the dirty dishes that have just been kind of hanging out the whole time. These have been hanging out. I've been stressed out because of it. That is a very good feeling. I love putting things away. The cutting board too. Yeah, baby. It's all going in, isn't it? Indian, Chinese, Swedish. I love Indian food as well. And Chinese food is very difficult to generalize because it's so regional. Granted, a lot of food is, but Chinese food especially. When am I making mole? Oh shit. That would be a crazy stream idea. Guys, mole from scratch? That would be like a proper sub-incentive because of the amount of like sheer labor and time that doing a mole actually takes. I would love to do a mole. That sounds like a really good time. 24-hour mole stream. God, that would take so long. It's doable, it's possible. I wonder if my computer can handle being on for like... No, what was it? Yes, I used this laptop back in my college days. I did like a 12-hour really depressing stream once where I played a lot of Ultimate and then I was like, well, I'm gonna go play Melee now too. So I know that it can handle those times, but can it handle that with this many cameras going on at once? That's kind of the big question to be asked here. Okay, just like that, guys, guess what? We only have 3 more minutes left on the clock. In fact, I'm probably gonna give the cauliflower a little taste now, see how tender it is, see how tender the potato is. Everything is falling apart nicely. I'm tasting the cauliflower mostly to see if we got that flavor out of it that we kind of wanted, yeah? It is nice and soft, which means it's gonna blend up beautifully. We don't wanna overcook it, right? 30 minutes is that sweet spot that we talked about. Really pleasant, but it would not be a Daramgar stream unless I actually properly dropped something on the floor. Now would it? Great, lovely, perfect. Guess what, baby? It is fucking blending time. Okay. Shut off that heat. This is gonna be hot. This one we gotta be super careful with. I'm gonna grab my stick blender that I have always tucked away in the same spot and I never take it out despite the fact that I always use it and I always need it. I love my stick blender. It really, having a good stick blender gives you just so many options. And then you just replace the head every so often once it gets dull. It really is life-changing. And my stomach. Yeah, I just have it stored there for when I need it. Okay. Let's get back to this. Okay. This bad boy is gonna plug on in. It's now nice and tight. Good. And now, this is finally properly full, right? So it's not going to hopefully splash. We just go in there, we go in chunk by chunk. Big chunks first. Maybe that was too much liquid, but I didn't know how to add. I just should have had everything in smaller pieces, I think. Go through all of those big chunks and big pieces. I would love to get a Vitamix, something that can let me blend hot things in proper volumes. Okay. Mix all of that fat in. There we go. And now we can properly blend. This is what I'm talking about. Get all that fat incorporated nicely. Mix it through. It should be viscous enough to hold on to that fat soon. Okay, sweet. Oof, that's blending up really, really smooth. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's going beautifully. It's in the title. It is indeed. Okay. I was trying to read chat from super far away. Yeah, now it's getting properly thick. Now that we're blending in all of the components, it's hitting that peak viscosity. That's what I'm talking. Woo, that is a really creamy soup. That's beautiful stuff. Whoa, that's a lovely texture. My goodness. Yeah, just mixing it up with the spoon seemed to get all that fat in. And now we can go in with a bunch of salt, because remember, this is effectively unseasoned at the moment. So a bunch of salt's gonna go in. We have a lot of stuff to season inside of this. All right, a lot of liquid. Oh guys, this soup is so creamy. That is really nice. That is really pleasant. Like, do you guys see this thing? It's great. Quite happy about it at the moment. We really want to make sure that salt is fully incorporated. In fact, I think the more we blend the potatoes, the more they should do a good job of properly thickening this thing too. Sweet. Oh, that looks really nice. Let's give it a little taste. It should be pretty undersalted at this point. Should be. And it's not emulsion as much as it is like, I guess it's, I don't know. I hate the way emulsion is overused. It doesn't say much, but. Oh shit. Oh, that's tasty. Also, hello, hi. I hate the way emulsion is overused. How you doing? It's good to see you. That's really fucking tasty. Whoa. All right, let's get a bunch more salt in there, huh? It did indeed need more salt. Now, what would also be kind of traditional, I guess, would be do a bit of nutmeg in here. Right? If you're like really French and you're doing anything with cream, or like with a bechamel, they love having their nutmeg in things, don't they? Okay. Yeah, that's whipping up quite nicely. That's looking pretty good. Inhaled some hair, of course. Man, that is good. You know what? I like that more than my usual cauliflower purees, because whenever I do like a proper like cauliflower like puree as like a side dish, it's really like thick and super buttery. This one barely had any cream in it. It was just a couple splashes. That blends up really nicely, especially with the texture of the potato. It really reminds me of like a potato leek soup almost. This is really, really silky. It's really smooth. It's very sweet from the cauliflower and the onions that are in there. It's got like some good oomph from the chicken stock that we made. This is a very, very good cauliflower soup. And again, we do need a bunch of salt. All of it was unseasoned up until this point, just so that we can now fully optimize it. What's nice about an immersion blender, it does allow you to blend things when they're like boiling hot. Didn't get enough of you on TikTok? I'm glad I found you here and on Twitter. Well, here you go, hi. Can you make it spicy? You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Yeah, you can make it spicy. You can make the stock spicy, you can add, well, if you add some chilies in here, it might mess with the texture, so do like dried chilies or cayenne. You can do a bit of cayenne at the end as well, something like that. Of course you can make it spicy. In fact, nothing that I am showing you, once again, is a recipe. All of this is just a collection of different techniques that you can do anything that you want with, right? You can do anything you want. You can make it spicy. You can make it bland. It's your food. But the thing that I am encouraging you is how to make it nice and smooth, nice and silky, and how to get the full flavor of the cauliflower, right? By cooking it for like that 30-minute sweet spot. Mwah, fucking perfect. Okay, just want to really make sure the salt is as dissolved as it possibly can be. We'll give that another taste. Still needs more salt. Okay. Last blend through, and then it should be fine. That is perfectly smooth. That is just the right texture. That is awesome. There it is. That's the salt I want on it. That's it. The soup is done. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Set this aside. Hit some bottles on the way, because why not? Get this out of the flame, please. Thank you. This needs to go in water so it doesn't dry and stick. And now I can probably plate up. So, Chinese cooking. That's what you need to learn. Chinese cooking. Learn some really... Oh, shit. Wrong thing. Chinese cooking uses white pepper all the time. That's the best place to learn it. Be good with bacon crumble and stuff. Yeah, that's what people traditionally do with like cauliflower soups and stuff. But guess what? I don't have bacon. In fact, everything that I made today was for the entire point of cleaning out my fridge. I had a bunch of heavy cream I needed to get rid of. I had the cauliflower I needed to get rid of. I had the potatoes I needed to get rid of. And I had the carrots I needed to get rid of. And guess what? We've completed the task at hand. We dealt with everything that I've had without actually having to go out and shop. And holy shit, I need some groceries now. But I was actually able to make something that was greater than the sum of its humble parts. And now, it means we get to eat. I wish I had a garnish for it, but alas, I do not. Which sucks. Okay. Soup. Beautiful. That's a nice silky soup, huh? Wait for the drips. Pour that in very nicely. Let's do another big old spoonful of that. Nice. That's some good stuff, my friends. Look at this. Is that it? Did I get it? Yeah. Really nice. Really, really silky. Okay. Where are we at? Look at this thing. Thank you. I'm very happy about it. Grab a nice little spoon for this bad boy. Look at that. Look at that texture. Look at that shit, huh? I really think the potato is a very necessary component in this because it helped it to get like that really like kind of bouncy thickness, and the cauliflower made it creamy. I don't know how to describe it, but it is the perfect blend of like a potato soup and a cauliflower soup texture. They go together really nicely. Oh, dude. Look at this thing. Look at it. No lumps at all. All these little specks, those are just the bits of black pepper that we had. No lumps at all. Completely silky all the way through. Nice and creamy. And not that much heavy cream to begin with. That's mostly just the natural thickening properties of said cauliflower and potato. That's fucking good. That's really good. That's really nice. That's really simple. And actually really easy. The thing that made this complicated was the fact that I made my own stock myself. Start to finish, this was less than 2 hours. Really. I just made the stock in a pressure cooker, and I had those chicken scraps. You can do this with water too, technically, but I really like it with the chicken stock. I think it's much nicer that way. I'm very happy about that. Everything that I've done on the stream, minus the Elias that I did, have come out really well. Not to be like a brag, but it's just nice that I'm able to perform the way that I would like to for an audience. Let's actually get a couple carrots on that are now nice and cold, and I had the carrots from before already, right? I just want another taste of them. Nope, because I don't teach recipes. I teach techniques. Quite nice. People need to know my cooking streams. I agree. I'm happy with the way the carrots came out. I think the quality of the carrot itself could have been better. There's not a lot that I can do with like the ingredient itself, really. But it came out nicely. The soup came out good. The chicken stock came out good. I'm gonna be able to use the chicken stock for a couple more things throughout the week. Look at that. But yes, you're right. Ideally, I would like this with like some bacon, maybe some chorizo. Oh, with chorizo, this would be exceptional, wouldn't it? But even by itself, just like this. You can sip this. This is like a mug soup. This is an ideal mug soup. This is the kind of a soup that you can sip from a mug. You know? I mean, essentially what I've made is just a potato and leek soup. Right? Except instead of leek, this is just basic onions. It's all tastes the same when it's blended anyways. This is effectively a potato and leek soup, but the main basis of it was the cauliflower, of course. And it did the job. I wanted to get rid of the cauliflower. I made something very beautiful with it. I don't love cauliflower. I like it. But cauliflower to me is a very innately limiting vegetable. What location would this be if it was a location or an ambiance? What would this be? I wanna answer the question. Comforting, silky, smooth, nothing crazy, not too complicated, elegant, refined, quiet. It's very quiet, isn't it? It's very simple. It's very quiet. I just think a park bench. That's what I feel like when I'm eating this. I think this is a park bench. I think this is a park bench in a very nice park, but it is the part of the park where you're far away enough from all of the cars that you don't hear the honking, you don't hear the driving around. You still have roads and stuff and streets, and maybe there's some people walking, but it is fairly quiet. We're talking like 4 p.m. in the fall, 60 degrees outside. This is it. This is the meal. Calm, gentle, predictable, pleasant, and quiet. Right? This is a simple dish. And here's the thing. This is something that I'm very big on. Not all food is supposed to hit every single flavor note of a spectrum every single amount of time. It's not always supposed to be spicy. It's not always supposed to be acidic. It's not always supposed to be super deep and complex and roasted. Sometimes it is okay for things to be plain, especially in the context of a greater meal. That's not to say that this is bland. This has flavor, but it's subtle, right? It's not aggressively in your face. It is subtle. And sometimes you want comforting, gentle, subtle food. And that's what this is to me. The onions made it sweet. The cauliflower has imparted like that nuttiness that we talked about there. It's creamy. There's no weird textures inside. It's really nice. I feel weird eating soup with no bread. That's a good point. This would have actually been quite ideal with some bread, wouldn't it have? A little fucked up of us that we don't do that. Well, we're not doing that right now. A small piece of bread would definitely go well with it. Absolutely. Guess what I don't have? Bread. I have nothing at home. I dropped an entire carton of eggs on the floor yesterday. I don't have butter at home. You know that? Normally I would do something like this with butter, but actually I think it was nice that I didn't have that because it made me appreciate just the few ingredients that went into this. I'm a really huge culinary minimalist. This entire soup, potatoes, onions, garlic, cauliflower, stock. How do I donate bread? You type exclamation mark tip in chat. That's what you do. That is really lovely. This is something I'm going to do more often. This might be actually just what I do instead of cooking cauliflower purees. Cauliflower purees that I usually do super buttery, super thick. And this is not that. This is very gentle. Cooking is for everyone. Accessibility. It is, in fact. It is for everybody. I totally agree. And I don't think enough people do it enough. And I think the way that people cook is innately unenjoyable. That's why I was talking about before about the importance of cooking when you're not hungry. Cook when you're not hungry so that by the time that you are hungry, you have something ready to eat, and thus cook things that are able to maybe be a little lukewarm, cook things that are able to reheat well, cook things that hold well. You're at home, you're not a restaurant, cook for yourself at home, cook before you are hungry, and you can go slow, you can have a good time with it, and you can put the effort and the love and the attention to detail that it desires. You rush, you cook when you're hungry, you just want to get to the ends before even thinking about the means, and you're going to get a shit product. Sorry, it's just going to happen if you rush. Italian gestures, I am from Brooklyn, so. I mean, guys, this texture, fucking perfect, dude. No fancy equipment. I really do advocate for everybody to own an immersion blender, like a stick blender. I have nothing to say on the matter. I don't know what that is, guys. I'm really esports. I don't know what any of this that you're talking about in chat is. That is really fucking nice. Goddamn. Pretty happy about it. This might just be something that I do more often. I really like potato cauliflower soups together. That's a very pleasant texture. My goodness. Make cooking your hobby and you'll learn to enjoy it. Absolutely. But also learn how to do it the right way. Always going with recipe first is the biggest road to disaster. Learning the techniques, being methodical about it, doing it the way that I do. Watch my streams and you'll be a better cook. Teehee. Oh, damn. Lovely. Really lovely stuff. You know who's gonna enjoy this? My mom. When she gets home. This will be pretty up her alley. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's pretty brutal. Yeah, almost everything that I'm showing off, I'm not using any luxurious ingredients. I'm not using anything expensive. Everything that I've done today was just shit that I've had in my fridge. Right? All the root vegetables, everything. Really, really simple, really effective food, just high technique. We're giving it a lot of love. We're giving it a lot of attention to detail, but nothing is undoable for anybody. Everything that I've done and everything that I've shown off is well within the realm of possibility. You know what I mean. Don't take that literally. Don't be gross. I just need to learn how to shop. Yeah, shopping's hard. I got a tip for you. I got some advice. Ready? Don't shop when you're hungry and don't shop when you have something specific that you want to make. Learn the kind of staples that you like having in your fridge. Potatoes, onions, beans, that kind of thing. Also, thank you for the gifted sub. Very appreciated. Having those kinds of staples and knowing what you have, and then later on you look at what you have, and then you make something from that, get inspired, right? Look at the stuff that's cheap, buy it sometimes, right? Look at the stuff that looks good in that moment, buy that. And then later on, you will figure out what to do with it, so as long as you actually stay on top of the ecosystem that is your fridge. Yeah. But also, people do this thing where they have a specific dish They have a specific recipe in mind. And then they go to the store and then they go and buy things for that thing. And they can't always find what's in season. And they can't always find everything that they wanted to look for. And then it gets frustrating and you're making substitutions. Scratch that. Find new staples. Find the things that you like having in your fridge. I think that's a complicated question you just asked. Also, that's not totally true. By the way, that's not totally true. By the way, little trans disclaimer there. That's actually, I see that rhetoric a lot, where it's like, oh, you're trans and you're on estrogen, you want to be thick, just eat more. It doesn't really always work like that. What's important for transitioning, by the way, is weight cycling. That's kind of the important part. It's not about gaining or losing weight ultimately. It's about slowly, and I very mean slowly and healthily over a couple of months, gain X amount of weight and then lose that kind of weight over time, and doing that cyclically and slowly. Weight cycling is kind of the effective one. Also, muscle mass is nice to have, you know. Build muscle in the places that you want it. The fat redistribution aspect takes quite a long time, and it's not always about quote unquote eating more. Yeah, it's just about slowly and gently gaining weight and then slowly and gently losing weight. But yes, you can do squats, you can do deadlifts, right? You can do deadlifts. I'm doing hip thrusts at the gym these days. But again, that is one piece of very commonly said, like trans femme rhetoric, just eat more, that I would actually kind of fight against. It's not that it's totally wrong, but it gives a very incomplete picture and it can sometimes be misleading, is what I'm just trying to say. So be gentle with that kind of stuff and also give it time, right? The fat redistribution aspect of estrogen takes many, many years. It's not going to happen overnight. And genetics also comes into play as well. It is. Granted, you know, some people that are like very, very lean, it might be beneficial for them to gain a bit of weight and then lose a little bit of that and change up like their fat percentages and stuff. So, yeah, and everybody's body works a little bit differently. So that's why I'm just careful about that kind of thing. I've seen people be actively like upset about the way they've been misled about that. A lot of misinformation when it comes to any kind of nutritional science, especially when it comes to gender/nutritional science and the intersection between the two. So just be careful with that stuff, guys. I am not an expert by any means either. So that's why most of the advice and when people ask me if I have transitioning tips, they are just gentle ones that are kind of generic. You kind of have to figure out what works for you. Yeah, I'm not a doctor, nor are most trans people. So take everybody with a grain of salt, is what I'm just trying to say. One thing said, this cauliflower soup was fucking great. I have a question that might push some buttons, and maybe let's keep it gentle then. Let's not go for it. Okay, everybody, guess what? We have been live for about 2.5 hours. It's not gonna get into 3 hours here. We're in the final phase of the cooking stream. We've eaten things, we've cooked things, we've done it all. Does anybody have any final questions, comments, concerns, anything food related, anything otherwise related that they would like to say? Before we sign off and find somebody for us to go ahead and raid. Because I think that'll be nice for us to do. Let me even see who's live right now. I guess Fang is live. He's playing a little bit of Valorant. Favorite cereal? I love multigrain Cheerios. Love them. They just have the best texture to me. Good job, Chef. Another amazing stream. Why, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Thank you for existing. No, thank you for existing and being here. Appreciate all of you. Hope you guys enjoyed today. Is it good ways to store the dough? What do you mean? Oh, every single dough is different. They leaven differently. You've asked a very complicated question. In general, the fridge will slow down fermentation. But otherwise, Depends. If it's a non-leavened dough, like a pasta dough, you can put in the fridge, or like a tortilla dough, yes. If it is a leavened dough with yeast and stuff, that shit gets all complicated. Don't mess with that, IMO. Okay. Let's see who is currently streaming. Everybody's just gaming on Twitch at the moment, aren't they? They sure are. Okay, I see my nice buddy Fan9S is streaming. Let's go ahead and relate him. Can I DM you a question sometime? Sure. And I might answer it, I might not, depending on what it is. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys next time, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, 3 p.m. That sound good? I'll let you know on Twitter, Discord, or some shit. So, goodbye. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate all of you. And I'll see you maybe tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye.